Thanks for joining us today. We're very happy to have you here. I'm here with Ashley and Janelle, and my name's Erica, and I wanted to talk today about how to size a ring down. Now, my last Facebook Live, I talked about how to size a ring up, and so today I wanted to reverse that and show you how to size a ring down. Now, there are two ways to do that. You can use our X851 stretcher and reducer tool, or you can solder it. So let's talk about both of those choices. We'll start with the tool. So a couple things to know about our stretcher and reducer. This tool's very, very heavy, so it's really important that you bolt it down because it will slide around a little bit. So it's definitely good for a studio, and its own little space in the studio works great. Also, you can only use this with plain bands. So if you were to try to put a 4-prong in here to resize it, it won't resize because it has to go under a press right here when you push it down to compress the metal to resize it. And so it's only good for plain bands. So anyway, just wanted to let you know. Also, rings can only be reduced about 1 full size using this method. So it's something to remember. And it also compresses the metal. So if there are any stamps or markings, it's going to distort them. So make sure you check out the ring first and let your customers know if there's a possibility they may lose that stamp or that marking on their piece. Or hopefully maybe you can even restamp it for them. But it's just something you'd want to be aware of and to let them also know. So here's a little example of how to use this. So what you want to do is this has 16 indents on it, and it's on both sides of this heavy plate. And you want to find the one that fits your ring that also has your ring sticking up about 1 to 2 millimeters. So I hope you can see that this is sticking up still. And that way when the press pushes down on it, it can actually touch the metal and compress it. So you slide it right here onto that, and I'm going to do it backwards so you can see it. But you can see your piece right there, and you just want to push firmly down on it, and it compresses it down into that indent. So now you can see it's flush, and you just keep doing that until you find, just keep moving your ring down, compressing it that way until it's the size that you need. So that's how to use our X851 ring stretcher, and this is an excellent tool for stretching and reducing your ring. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and let's talk about soldering. Soldering is a second method, and I like this method because you can go about 2 sizes using this before it loses its original shape. And that's really important if you have, to go from like a size 9 to a 7 or whatever. This is the way you'd want to go. And this works with almost every band, except it will not work for a gypsy, paved, or a flush setting. They can't be resized because they'll become too distorted to be able to hold those stones. So just a thing to remember. And also using this method by soldering, you also want to check for markings inside the band there as well. Can you restamp the piece, or should you tell the customers they will lose the marking or engravings permanently? So that's always something to think about. A lot of people have notes inside of their ring bands that they don't want to lose. So maybe you'll want to tell them that too. So what you'll need to do before soldering is I want to show you how to actually go through the process of going from a size 7 down to a size 6. So we have a handy chart on blog halsteadbead.com. I've written 2 blogs recently. One is about how to size a ring up and how to size a ring down as well. And they both offer instructions and tips. So they also have this chart on there. And this chart is a handy little chart you're welcome to print out if you'd like. And I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of tells you just how many millimeters there are per size. So size 7 is 54 millimeters. And size 6 is 51.5 millimeters. So it's a quick way to quickly figure out without having to measure and all that. You can use this chart to tell you the size that you have right now to work with. So let's say we want to go from a size 7 to a size 6. So like I just said, a size 7 is 54 millimeters and a size 6 is 51.5 millimeters. So if you do the math, that's 2.5 millimeters of metal you'll want to remove from your band. So if you look at this chart right here, I hope you can see it. I have a fake ring right here in the center, and it's really just to show you how to center your piece on a graph paper, how to center your ring on that graph paper, and you want to remove 1.25 millimeters from equal sides, and that'll equal 2.5 millimeters. So I hope that explained that correctly, but if you go on that blog, you can read it there too as well. So anyway, you'll want to have graph paper, a pencil, calipers, of course the saw, because you don't want to cut it with any cutters or anything. I definitely suggest sawing through your band to make it smaller before you solder it. It's an even cleaner, it's a cleaner cut for sure than using wire cutters of any kind. So that's just my suggestion. And I'll show you how to solder it really quickly. So right here I've already marked this. This was a size 7. I'm going down to a size 6. I've removed 1.25 from either side of where I sawed on my initial cut. And that way it's more uniform. So you'll want to do that too. Especially if you have a band that's maybe thicker up at the top and thinner down at the bottom. You want to keep that shape going. So you don't want to cut it up like here at the top. It'll distort it too much. So I put a piece of medium solder underneath this. And remember, if you have any settings, if you have any stones in any of your pieces that you're going to solder, go ahead and remove them if they can't take the heat. So know your stone before you do this and if you need to remove it or not. So you want to file the two ends so that your join's real flush. You want to put a piece of medium solder underneath that. And what I want to do is I want to draw that solder up through the ring join. So I want to bring it up towards me. And of course, solder flows towards the heat source, so I'll keep the heat on top of it. And that way the solder will flow towards me. And I've already fluxed this as well. So what I want to do, I'm standing back because I forgot to tie back my hair right now. But anyway, I want to go ahead and heat up your entire sterling silver piece. And then go ahead and focus just on that ring join. Remember to move your torch back and forth because you never want to get it setting still. You'll always have it moving, and there it went up through there. I hope you saw that just go, and you're done. It's very simple. So if you have any other additional questions, you can always talk to customer service. They'd love to answer your questions. They'll pass it to me if they can't answer it. And also go ahead and look at our blogs, how to size the ring up and how to size the ring down for additional information. Thank you for joining us today. Have a good day.